In Oriental martial arts, in traditional Chinese and Indian medicine, the concept of energy is very important. In India, they use the term prana, often translated as energy, but it can also mean breath or primary essence. In China, we have the term qi, normally translated as energy, but also associated with the concept of breath. So you can see how these two traditions are deeply connected in this sense. Many Westerners consider the Eastern energy series to be pure fantasy. But modern science, especially quantum physics and fractal geometry, are proposing new theories. These new theories seems to match with the Oriental energy theory formulated thousands of years ago. But let's go more in deep to the meaning of these two terms. Prana derives from the root praan. It means to breathe, but also indicates the vital breath that pervades the body and the spirit. Prana is considered the main path. Pra also means first or main. According to the Vedas, the word was created by an exhalation. So that's why prana is often identified with the breathing. In particular, it is associated with the idea of the original breath, the original breath of the universe. Another meaning of the root pra is to feel. Therefore, prana is the energy that fills the whole universe. In the Chinese tradition, the qi character, in the traditional version, offers a fascinating and engaging image. The representative value of the character indicates how we should perceive the qi. The ideogram is composed of two elements, qi in the upper part and mi internally in the lower part. Qi represents the vapor, while mi is normally translated as rice. In reality, the radical mi represents a rice field. The cross in the middle of the character represents the small water channels, while the four dots are the rice plants. Well, imagine finding yourself at the top of the hill, overlooking a large rice field. This image is very alive in my mind. I remember well the rice fields on the countryside nearby Hangzhou. During summer, the heat causes the evaporation of the water from the small canals of the rice field. From above, you can see these large plantations, these large irrigations, surrounded by the green. Due to the high temperature, the water evaporates, and the whole landscape shrouded by a thin cloud. Infinite drops of water that seems to compose the panorama, like a pointillism painting made by thousands of dots. We quickly find ourselves covered by a thin layer of water. Skin is slightly wet, and even through the breath, you can perceive moisture in the small water droplets creeping into the nose. Steam and water become present everything. This is the image that the ideogram of qi tries to suggest. Something extremely vital that permeates everything. Even if the term prana and qi come from different background and culture, they are both talking about the same concept. In the case of Chinese language, we can relate more to the figurative meaning expressed by the ideogram. But we should not stick on one single idea of qi. Qi can manifest itself in infinite forms. In fact, Both in Oriental medicine and in holistic disciplines, we often speak of qi in reference to very different things. Or in some cases, we talk about different types of qi. To bring order to all its different manifestations, it is important to first define qi in its purest form, the latent vibration of the universe, vibration that is energy, from which all things have taken shape. When the pure vibration is charged by a specific information, it will manifest itself differently. So, all the different manifestations of qi originate from the same form of energy loaded with different informations. The information charges the energy, and the energy aggregate in new forms. In this sense, everything around is an energy manifestation. Everything is qi. The human being is one of the many representations of qi. We are composed by many different energies combined together. Some energies create the body, others the consciousness, our thoughts, our emotions. Neigong is a way to educate the deep consciousness to interact with a more subtle plane of reality, the plane of energy. Through physical exercises, it is possible to influence the state of matter, which in this context means fortify the body and making it more efficient. Breathing exercises help the body to obtain the right state of oxygenation in the tissues and cells, so you can slow down the engine. But it is possible to go beyond the form, beyond the body. And then it is the most exciting journey. Our emotions are a form of energy, just as our thoughts. Getting in touch with the deepest emotions is an integral part of the internal transformation. From now on, every time you hear about qi, you will first have to ask yourself, what form of qi they are talking about? In many traditional classics, for example, when we talk about qi, we mainly mean breathing. Or in Chinese medicine, we can find a great deal of different energy forms associated with the elements, with physiological changes, and with different types of body tissue. And also, from the psychological point of view, each emotion is also associated with different kind of qi. But at this point, if everything is qi, why we have the need to distinguish so many different kinds of qi? Well, the ego is the tool that our deep consciousness is using to have experience of this reality. And what the ego does is to classify, separate, and distinguish things. Perceiving the reality as a dualism is the only way for the mind to organize things. And that is also what Taoism describes. Tao shen yi, yi shen er, er shen san, san shen wang wu. In English, it translates to Tao begets one, one begets two, two begets three, and three begets all things. That is why it is normal to find this vast classification of energy forms. You will have to learn to relate to qi in its most specific form, but also in its broader version. The harmonic rules will always be the same.